If you have questions, concerns, and are just lost when it comes to planning for retirement, meet Steve Hoyle and Derek Caldwell of the Hoyle Financial Group. And let me make this perfectly clear. This is not a political show. I could care less what side of the aisle you're on, but it is a show where we are going to break down these headlines. We are going to talk about how it's going to impact you, both good and bad, as we are continuously, day to day, reading through the headlines. You said at this last event, Steve, it was a great turnout because people are really, really getting concerned.
I'm telling you, people showed up. They had great questions, and I would say that we had about 38 people, and I think nearly everyone set up an appointment with us because the way we do that educational workshop is we go and we talk about current topics and things, and then the other half is we offer you a complimentary appointment in our office to sit down and review your situation. Where are you in getting ready for retirement, taking a snapshot of where you are today and where you want to be. And so it's really fun. In fact, I'm going to do 9 appointments between Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of new folks coming in that showed up for the workshop, and they're going to get their paperwork together and come see us, and we're going to talk about it. Because I'm going to tell you, Jess, now's the time to get organized.
Absolutely. I love that you talk about there, taking a snapshot of where you are. And listen, planning for retirement and juggling all these different balls in the air about, what this administration is trying to do and what the market's doing, what the economy's doing, it can be confusing and overwhelming. But the good news is when you sit down with Steve, Derek, and the team here at Hoyle Financial, guys, they make it easy to understand. So much so that they have a couple of events coming up here, April 17th being the next one. And it really is just about getting back to the basics of planning for retirement and income planning. Getting back to the basics, folks. So let's make sure that the I's are dotted, the T's are crossed. Let's build that foundation and let's create this successful, customized plan for you.
Let's look and take a snapshot of where you are, where you want to be, and how you're going to get there. I'm in a group of a bunch of friends, and yesterday they were saying, I haven't looked at my 401k in the last week, and I'm not going to. And I'm like, wait a minute. Why have your head in the sand? For our clients, Jess, they have a plan. Market's going to correct some, but they have a plan to figure that out. And I think that's so important, having that plan.
Steve, you're exactly right. It's all about having a plan in place, not having your head in the sand. That's not going to help anybody. It's certainly not going to help yourself. You need to be proactive, have these protections around your income, your portfolio, your retirement plan, not just having your head in the sand and hoping for the best, right? And that's what being proactive is all about. We're going to dive more into that in just a few moments. Of course, along with this volatility we saw earlier in the week, another word that is coming across every headline, every news outlet, I don't care which one you watch or read, is the R word. It is a recession. Are we headed towards another recession? If so, how bad will the recession be? Well, let's turn to our friends here at ABC, Alexis Christoforous. She has some opinion on it here.
They're now weighing in with their odds for a recession, and they are going up. J.P. Morgan Chase now puts the odds of a recession this year at 40%, up from 30%. I spoke with Mark Zandi. He's the chief economist over at Moody's. He said at the beginning of the year, he had a 15% chance of odds of a recession this year. It's now 35% if Trump implements these tariffs and leaves them in place for the next few months. Remember, the consumer has been the pillar of this economy, continuing to spend despite it all, high inflation, higher interest rates. If that starts to pull back and the job market starts to weaken, and some economists are saying because of Trump's policies on deportation and the government layoffs, we could see a big pullback in the job market, and that's when the economy may pull back enough to dip us into a recession.
Okay, so Steve, what are your thoughts about, she said a lot there, so where do you stand?
Well, I'm just telling you is if you have a plan and you work that plan, don't have your head in the sand, as we talked about. You talked about hope earlier. Hope is not a plan, Jess. And, our clients are working with us and are 3 to 5 years from retirement or in retirement. They have a plan. They know. In our Hoyle Wealth Company, with what's going on with the markets, our phones are not ringing because our clients are prepared for this. And I think that's so important to know. We're a full-service firm, and no matter how you're allocated, what you're in, we have a lot of options where your money's not at risk. There's all different kinds of risk, but your money's not hanging out there, and that's something that a lot of people need. And we talk so much in our industry about risk, and let's talk about the rule of 100. And what the rule of 100 basically is, it says take your age, subtract it from 100. So say you're 60 years old. So you subtract that from 100. You should have no more than 40% of your money at risk. And that's if you're the most aggressive investor. What I believe is that every investor, every person getting ready for retirement needs some money at risk. But having all your money at risk, our clients are prepared for this. And I think that's part of the strategy. What goes up is going to come down some. And I think you have to plan for that. The psychology of this is really important.
Okay, so you're telling me it's interesting and you're telling me they need risk, but what I want to hear is how are you helping people create a protected plan? That's what I want to know.
Well, Jess, one of the things is our clients are in a plan based on how much risk they feel like they can afford. We do a risk assessment with all of our clients, and we'll have a couple come in here, and he loves risk, and she can't stand risk. And, you have to come together and figure that out. But this economy without a plan is going to separate the men from the boys out there. The first step is to figure out how you're allocated. How is your money diversified? All of those things is it in stocks, 60%, 40% in bonds? Where is your money? People come in to see us and they can't even find an old statement or log in to find out how their money is allocated or how much money they have in their plans. I think the first step is awareness. Where is my money? What's it doing for me? What's it allocated? How much longer am I going to work? How much money can I afford to lose? All of those things are so important, Jess. So if you don't want to sit around and just have hope as the plan for retirement, you want a plan well thought of. You want to really figure out where you are today and where you're going in retirement. We're your guys at Hoyle Financial. We have over 36 years of experience doing that. Furthermore, we were here for 2000 when nothing happened. We were here for 2008 when everything happened. We were here during COVID when there was huge problems in the markets. We're here again. So we have time on our side. Do you have time on your side?
When you retire, you can leave many things behind, right? You leave the commute, the alarm clock, the daily grind. But one thing that you cannot, no matter how much you try, you cannot leave behind a tax bill. In fact, income taxes may be your single largest expense in retirement. So, Steve, walk me through this whole, creating a tax plan. How long does it take? What goes into it?
I think just figuring out what do your taxes look like today and what do they look like in retirement. Some people come to say, I want to get those taxes out of the way. They have options of doing a Roth conversion and wham, bam, pay all the taxes at one time, get them behind you, and then you have tax-free retirement. In retirement and all the way through retirement, then you're leaving tax-free benefits to your kids, to your relatives, whoever you're leaving your money to. I think it's so huge. But it's interesting, Jess, right now, if Trump doesn't change that, your Social Security is taxable, and the taxes will really erode that. And so if you think about doing a Roth conversion and getting the taxes out of the way, you can have tax-free Social Security benefits. It's so huge. When we think about annuities and pensions, your pension is taxable, and bam, that can really throw you into a higher bracket. We talk a lot about, annuities, having income strategies, having a lifetime income strategy. Can you imagine having that just tax-free? It's huge.
That is huge.
It's interesting. We were at our educational workshop we did last Thursday. People started asking me questions. Wait a minute. My IRAs are taxable? Oh, yes, they are. People don't realize that every contribution they make to a traditional IRA, they get a tax deduction at the end of the year. But down the road, you've got to pay taxes on that money, where a lot of people are starting to make Roth-friendly taxable contributions. So that money is tax-free down the road. That's what it's about, Jess. Controlling your taxes. It's so interesting when people realize you can decide when you want to pay those taxes. It's up to you. Otherwise, the government's going to tell you when to do it. So I think it's so important controlling your taxable accounts, whether they're a 401k, an IRA. You can now have a Roth and 401k. You can have a Roth IRA. It's so important when people really sit down and realize how they can control that. We asked that question at the educational workshop last week. Are taxes going to go up in the future or go down? everyone said they're going to go up, and I 100% agree. So if you think taxes are going to go up, you need to have a plan. So for the listeners today, we're going to do a tax strategy review for the first 5 callers. Call us. Let's figure out how much in taxes you're planning on paying right now by doing nothing, and how much you could pay doing everything and having that solid strategy. Paying all the taxes in 1 year, maybe over 3 years, maybe over 5 years. We have a lot of software we use to figure out the right way to do that Roth conversion when it makes sense for you. And then, it's psychological. Oh, wait, I don't want to lose that much of my principal. Well, right now is a great time to do it, Jess. While the market's down, using discounted dollars to take care of that tax strategy, today is the day.
Just a few moments ago, Steve, you were mentioning annuities. That is the A word when it comes to retirement planning, that literally people go running for the hills. I know that you've had people sitting across from you. They kind of recoil at the thought of buying an annuity because of things that they've heard from other people. So I want to know from you, what reasons do you give them to make them think twice about the opportunity with an annuity?
It's funny, Jess. I've been doing this for, I guess, over 36 years, and people come to see me and they name all these attributes they want in a financial instrument, but they do not want an annuity. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, there's so many great articles out there for annuities, and I think we've picked some fantastic ones for our clients over the years. But, 2 of the great strategies with annuities are, one, have an income for life. Taking some of your retirement monies and making it where you can never outlive that income stream. And then also making it where your spouse, if something happens to you, cannot outlive that income either. It's so important that both of you have that lifetime income. Then we do other catch-up buckets because the silent killer inflation really erodes that income. So we have a strategy for that. I think the other thing, I had a lady call me this morning and say, Steve, my husband's sure glad we did that last strategy with that annuity. And basically what it was, Jess, is they took a large amount of the retirement dollars, put it into annuity with the Standard & Poor's 500 as the indice that we track. So for them, they have an 11% cap in this strategy. So if the market goes up like it did last year, they made 11%. But if the market goes south, continues this year, and the market, let's say it's down 19%, zero becomes their hero. They cannot lose any of their money in that strategy. And that's powerful, Jess. If you look at the market, the probability returns, the lows and the highs. If you wipe out the lows and a little bit of the highs, not the highest high, just have highs, man, you've got a crazy return. We've done that for so many of our clients, and it'd be great for you. People are like, wow, what we're really doing is we're trying to erode that risk. That's the big thing, Jess. A lady the other day I saw out at dinner, and she said, Steve, I voted for Trump. But I didn't think these tariffs were going to take my life savings away. The thing is, I don't care if you vote red, blue, or purple. You don't have to let it. It's your choice. Sit down with somebody like us. Let's have a plan to make sure that money is there when you need it. Again, I said it's your choice.
Yeah, it's your choice. As Derek usually says on the show, he'll say, give me 2 hours or give your boss 2 more years, because it really is that simple. It's like you have to invest in your own financial future. Don't just think because of these things that are happening with the government, with the president, with all these things coming down, that there's no way out. There's no way that you can survive this. There are different opportunities. So this is where it comes in on you. You listening right now, be proactive, make the call. If you're concerned about your income, if you're concerned about your risk tolerance, if you're concerned about anything and everything, taxes and income planning, this is where Steve and the team shine. Yeah, Social Security. Gosh, that's another huge conversation that's happening right now in Washington.
Jess, I think it's interesting. After doing this for so many years, I mean, this country is so divided, but I think we need to use that as an opportunity for us to change the outcome for our future. And, that's what we do for people. Jess, people come to see me and say, oh, I thought you were stockbrokers. No, we're retirement planners. We specialize just in that final phase of life called retirement. And, it's interesting. Our strategy is not what I learned at Texas Tech when I graduated in 1986. It's what we learned from each one of our clients that we put together their plan across the state of Texas. We continue to tweak it. And you know what? Our phones aren't ringing right now. Jess, our clients aren't concerned because they have a well thought out plan. If you want what your neighbor has, your brother, your sister, they're probably our clients, just give us a call. I'm Steve Hoyle, and what I can tell you is I'm passionate about you being successful in retirement and us partnering to make sure that retirement is everything you want it to be. As Derek Caldwell says, give us 2 hours of your time, or give your boss 2 more years and maybe 5 more years in this economy. I don't know.
If you'd like to sit down with Steve and Derek or a member of the Hoyle Financial Group, visit retiretexasstyle.com.
Investment advice offered through Hoyle Wealth Management, a Texas registered investment advisor able to provide investment advice in states where it's registered, exempt, or excluded from registration. Content contained herein should not be construed as an offer or solicitation for investment advice or for the purchase or sale of any security, insurance, or other investment product. Investments involve the risk of loss, including possible loss of principal. Please consult with a qualified financial, tax, accounting, or legal professional before implementing any ideas or strategies discussed here. Content provided is obtained from sources believed to be reliable but cannot be guaranteed as to its accuracy or completeness. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance products, including annuities offered through Steve Hoyle, Texas Insurance License 716036. Annuity guarantees rely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. Read your contract for restrictions, limitations, or penalties. Steve Hoyle is not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if Steve Hoyle is licensed in your state, please call 806-371-9473.